Well, it was quite an interesting morning, wasn't it? Moderately entertaining, I would say. Watching Paul Thorpe and Danny Salmon explaining their reasons for quitting Team Tommy. Of course, it was just a public relations stunt, obviously, and always will be when Paul Thorpe's involved in it, with his usual narcissistic whining and emotive manipulation. Please feel sorry for us. We tried our best. We're just a pair of granddads, innit, bruv, called Blimey Governor. And, the thing is, we found ourselves out of our depths, innit, bruv? Quick shot. Well, yeah, absolutely. That much is true, without a doubt, but there's a whole lot more to it than that, isn't there? You know? What really brought about the collapse of Team Tommy? Well, it's this ongoing furore, isn't it, about donations collected in the name of Peter Lynch. And there's absolutely no doubt those donations apparently having been handed over to Guramit Singh, the armed robber and convicted fraudster, who describes his fraud as just a bit of fraud, innit, bro? They're absolutely addicted with that phraseology, aren't they? Innit, bro? Innit? My goodness, honestly, I can't help but mock them. So really, to tell you the truth, that ongoing furore is absolutely nowhere near resolution. Yeah, we've still not seen audited accounts, and we're never going to see them, and that is the truth. If the police can't obtain them, then who can, quite frankly? So we know for a fact that more than £4,000 was raised in donations in the cash buckets on the 26th of October 2024, and they were also using card readers as well, and they used card readers at the previous demo in London. A very important point to make, in actual fact. So why can't we see the audited accounts? Well, because anything scribbled on the back of a fag packet is completely worthless, isn't it? And so, returning to Paul and Danny, well, Danny, of course, is not a grifter and never has been a grifter. I mean, he's made substantial sums of money trading in Bitcoin, and good luck to him. There's no problem with that at all. He got turned over by counter-terrorism at Gatwick Airport, the North Terminal, apparently. An unpleasant episode which lasted about 3 hours. Yes, of course, I've had those visits myself, and for more grotesque and implausible reasons than what Danny Salmon had. Although I hasten to add that under no circumstances should Danny ever have been targeted by counter-terrorism just for associating with the general grifter, quite frankly. And the same is also true with Paul Thorpe. Okay, they've discovered themselves to be out of their depth. Yes, I've always known that to be the case, in actual fact. In fact, I was the one who told Paul Thorpe he was out of his depth, and now he knows it. But that said, this is not the only reason why they quit. Look, there is this issue regarding colossal grifting by Tommy Robinson going way back to before 2017, and what we've asked for is the audited accounts from 2017 to the present day. They will never be produced, we know that, okay? And we also know what else they've been up to behind the scenes, and that's all going to be covered in future podcasts and vlogs of this nature. So, was Paul grifting? Well, Paul wasn't actually grifting at all, in actual fact. No, I mean, he was the Super Chat King on YouTube, without a doubt. And, of course, he's hypersensitive to that criticism, because when he quit, one of the first things he announced was there's not going to be any more Super Chats either. Blimey, governor, I'm loaded, innit? Why ever had to collect this money in the first place? Well, it's a very good point, isn't it? But he did. There's nothing wrong with actually making money from a YouTube channel. I don't condemn him for that in any way, shape or form. But he was the Super Chat King, and my goodness, he really could drag it out. He could spin it on, a proper old yarn, as the Super Chats came rolling in. Perhaps he should donate all of his Super Chat funds to the family of Peter Lynch. But then again, no doubt he would probably come back with a story of, well, Angela Lynch refused to take the donations. Well, we know that's untrue as well, isn't it? You know, from the stewarding team on the 26th of October, we know it's untrue. So, look, at the end of the day, Inman, of course, yes, he's quit as well, the three unwise monkeys. Yeah, they found themselves out of their depth, which is interesting considering the fact Inman was in the British Army. And he suddenly found himself so thoroughly out of his depth. One point I did find very interesting, though, was when Paul Thorpe said, well, we were at the rally in February of this year, and we just weren't feeling it. Well, Why was that? Because it was cold outside and there was a low turnout, only half the number that came in October the previous year, and that's a fact as well, you know. So whatever, they just weren't feeling it. Why weren't they feeling it? What was happening behind the scenes to encourage them not to feel that they wanted to take part in any further of these Unite the Kingdom rallies? So now they're switching from Unite the Kingdom to a free speech rally in September this year, apparently, when General Grifter has been released from prison. Well, so what? Because what has Robinson actually ever done for free speech? Well, absolutely nothing. All he ever did when he jumped on the free speech bandwagon in 2016 was grift from it. That's been his only purpose, grifting, which is all Tommy ever does. He's a grifter, an incurable professional grifter, okay? Maybe, well, not so much Inman, because he gets 35 grand a year from Urban Scoop, or Urban Scam, they've now been rebranded. So maybe Thorpe and Danny Salmon have realised what a grifter Tommy Robinson is, although in their closing statement, resignation after just a year's activism, if you can call it that, they didn't mention any of that in actual fact, which throws a cloud of suspicion over everything they said in that video. Why can they not bring themselves to say that Tommy Robinson is a grifter, a fraudster, and even his wife is involved in false accounting, a fact that we've seen when she was banned by Companies House recently, over 1.1 million in a shell company that can't be accounted for. Look, wherever these people go, there's fraud, there's false accounting, there's organised crime, there's drug dealing. These are all established facts in actual fact, you know. No one can question it, even though they lie and resort to an enormous amount of gaslighting and threats that will never carry out in actual fact because they're all gutless windbags. So was the resignation speech, for want of a better description, genuine? Well, I guess in the mind of Paul Thorpe it was genuine, but you know, having studied him in that video, yes, it was the usual self-obsessed, self-pitying, whining, whinging, narcissistic, emotive manipulation. And I'm sure he'll defend it by saying, well, haters are always going to hate. Well, then stop hating, Paul. Stop being involved with people. Oh, sorry, you have stopped being involved with people, haven't you? Who spout death threats and threaten to rape old women and threaten to rape my fiance, yeah, and get away with it. Yes, that's very interesting. There's not a word of condemnation from any of them. From Inman, from Salmon, and also from Thorpe, about the litany of criminality they have been associated with, okay? And as for Inman, well, his newfound relationship with God, well, that's very interesting, isn't it? That's just communal narcissism. I mean, the man gives Christianity a terrible name in actual fact. This is why Christianity has such a bad name, because it's infested with people like Inman, you know, who seek refuge there to hide from the things that they've been doing in life. I mean, I don't know, did he fancy Kaz more than God? I mean, it's a grotesque soap opera, quite frankly. And anybody with any sense will be well away from it. And of course, Inman, Thorpe and Salmon have decided to swim away from it. Well, Thorpe and Salmon have. Apparently Inman's not going anywhere, even though he's quit his involvement with the rallies. Well, we'll see how it pans out. But the next grift, of course, is the Predator Hunter series, led by Guramit Singh, you know, the convicted armed robber and fraudster, and goodness knows what else that criminality that man's been up to. Of course, shall we end on all of the threats he's been making recently, particularly to out people as paedophiles when they've never been anything of the sort. It's entirely in keeping with all of the false and misleading information these people have spouted in the past, particularly about me, you know. But Thorpe and Salmon gone, well, they were completely irrelevant anyway, quite frankly. That's my honest opinion, you know. They're the 3-week warrior types, you know. They come along, they get a taste of it, they realise they're so far out of their depth that they're sinking without actually having doing anything meaningful, to be perfectly honest with you. And then they're gone, apparently in a haze of publicity. Well, thanks for the entertaining video, Paul and Danny. Yes, absolutely. It's certainly not memorable though, is it? But we bid ye farewell on your new path, ostensibly away from General Grifter.